Well, Billy had a great 2-year-old year. Went a main win, a Grade 1 win, good seconds. Only bad race on his whole form is the Breeders' Cup, and there's no explanation for it, so we just draw a line through that. Good thing is he came back with 3 good efforts as a 3-year-old, and he's only been off the board 1 time in his life. So he's got the foundation of his 2-year-old campaign. He's got the foundation of 3 starts into the Derby, and they're all good. I mean, he's consistent, and I know the 1.25 miles will help him. I think it improves him where it may hinder some of these other horses.
Can you just go through his 3 races? He was 2nd in the Holy Bull, then 3rd in the 1-turn mile,
Right.
Gotham, and then 4th place 3rd with a big excuse in the Bluegrass.
Well, the first race out was a really big race. I thought he ran huge, and the numbers were all good in that race. It was one of the fastest races run. And Audible was obviously a legit horse and one of the favorites, and he beat him. And then we decided to go to New York for the flat mile race, and he just had too much trouble. And that was a good race. There was some quality horses in there. And when they kicked away, he was still fighting through traffic. By the time he got clear, he wasn't able to run down. But he and Parisian Fire were head-to-head, which is a multiple graded stakes winner at the 8th pole. And we went on and fought and drew off from him to beat 3rd. So that gave me some encouragement. The Bluegrass, I mean, what are the odds of 2 horses running each other like they did as a 2-year-old and the hopeful, and again back in the Bluegrass? I think watching the replay, I think his momentum was going to get him up to 2nd. So anyway, we got put up to 3rd, got us our points, and we got him.
How many years is it now that you've had a horse in the Derby for the Albaughs?
This would be the 4th one, 3rd year in a row.
Yeah. And just talk about their program, how with their 2-year-olds. And...
Well, Dennis does a lot of things right. Put a good team together, go out and shortlist and pick out horses, and we put a profile together of what we think a Triple Crown horse would be. And we've only bought 6 to 8 horses a year, but they've always been, high dollar horses that fit into the profile. But still, even to do everything right and get to the Derby 3 times in a row, 3 years in a row, the odds have to be outstanding to do that with 6 yearlings a year. But they've been able to do it.
And it also shows both last year and this year the value of depth, because both years you had some really nice horses that...
We had depth both years, but it was not the depth you would look at in numbers. It was just the small group of quality. And that's worked out well for Dennis. We haven't bought big numbers. It's just been the quality and the absolute horses we want. When we go to sale, he's given me the right to go out and buy the exact horses that we want.
And what is the exact horse you want? Do you think Kentucky Derby when you're
only think Kentucky Derby. Like I said, we build a profile. Starts with pedigree analysis. It's to figure out what pedigrees and throw out the horses that don't work, the pet crosses that haven't worked. Everything's negative prediction. And then you're left with a group, and then we have the short listers that they'll go out and cut the list of those horses down on physical. Then we'll go through, and I'll go into the last group, and we'll decide on the final cut. And then from there, they still have to pass a cardiovascular exam through ultrasound. And if they do that, that makes it even smaller. And then we do a total skeleton x-ray and respiratory system x-ray. And at that point, what we're left with is just about price point. Because any of those horses we feel like fit our program and our profile.
And they do go in. I mean, Dennis Albaugh is a businessman, and there is a budget.
It is run like a business, and there is a budget. It may not look like it when you're spending big money, but he has budgeted, and he expects us to perform and pay the way, and he likes to see a little profit at the end. Well, they're good people. Jason and I have become the closest of friends. We speak 2 or 3 times a day now, and it's not always talking about horses. We might talk family, football, basketball. He's a big sportsman, and it's just been fun.
And final question, you were here last year with their horse J Boy's Echo. Any the experience going into last year versus going into this year with Free Drop Billy?
Well, it's not a lot of difference. We felt like we run good last year, but he didn't run up to par. I don't know. I feel like this year that this horse has a true legitimate chance because there's not much question about him, whether he'll go the distance, whether he'll try, because he shows up every time, and we know the further the better. His brother just won a $6 million race in Dubai going 1.5 miles. So I don't know. It's a little different every year with every horse.
primer día. Come on, you big dodo.